My husband stood in the middle of our living room, surrounded by friends, family, balloons that said, "Welcome, baby," yet the only welcome I received was silence. To my mother, he said, voice thick with pride, "She's the one raising our child. My wife, well, she was the vessel." Laughter, applause, his mother's smug little nod. And I, standing at the edge of my own celebration, felt myself vanish. I didn't cry, I didn't speak, I slipped out while the noise swallowed me whole. No one noticed. Back then, I met him in a bookstore. He said he liked how I tilted my head when I read, like I was listening for a secret. He told me I was different. He told me I was his piece. For years, I believed him. I gave him love, loyalty, my body, my future. I gave him everything. And when I told him I was pregnant, he kissed me like he had been waiting his whole life. He whispered, "You've made me a father." But fathers protect, fathers honor. Fathers don't strip their wives down to nothing in front of a room full of witnesses. That wasn't a father speaking last night. That was a boy, still tied to his mother's hand. The discovery. It hadn't started at the baby shower. I had noticed the shift months earlier. The locked phone, the sudden late meetings, the smell of perfume that wasn't mine, and worse, the way he looked at me like I was temporary, like he was already planning a life where I didn't exist. It was his mother who confirmed it, unknowingly. I overheard her on the phone. "Don't worry, darling. Once the baby's here, we'll handle everything. She won't matter." I kept my face blank, my breathing steady. Inside, I was already calculating. The plan. I didn't scream, I didn't beg. That's what they expected. Instead, I became invisible. I moved money, quietly, opened accounts in my name only, copied documents, photographed receipts. I visited lawyers during doctor's appointments. I built a case brick by brick until the wall around me was unshakable. Every betrayal, every text, every cent siphoned to his mother, I had it all. Evidence that would strip him of custody, his house, his reputation. I let him think I was weak. That was the best camouflage of all. The delivery. The morning after the baby shower, a package landed on their doorstep. Inside, a leather-bound binder neatly tabbed. Photos, messages, bank transfers, statements from witnesses who thought I was too naive to ask the right questions. On top, a note in my handwriting. "To the woman raising my child, consider this your inheritance." By noon, the phone calls started. His voice cracked on voicemail after voicemail. His mother's was shriller, breaking like glass. I didn't answer. Silence was my weapon now. The confrontation. 3 days later, he showed up. Eyes bloodshot, suit wrinkled, no longer the polished man I had once loved. "You ruined me," he hissed. "No," I said, calm. "You ruined us. I just documented it." He laughed bitterly. "You'll regret this. You can't raise a child alone." I stepped closer, low enough for him to feel my breath. "I already have been." He flinched. That was the first honest reaction I'd seen in months. The courtroom. In court, the evidence unfolded like a play I had written. The judge read every line, studied every photograph, every transfer. His lawyer tried to spin it, a misunderstanding, marital strain, exaggerated claims. But the binder was too heavy. It bent the truth until it snapped. The ruling was clean. Full custody to me, financial support from him, restraining orders where necessary. His mother's face collapsed when the judge said, "The mother is not a vessel. She is the parent." That was my toast. To myself. The aftermath. I don't dream of him anymore. I don't dream of her either. Sometimes I remember the bookstore, his smile, the promise he once carried. But then I remember the baby shower, the laughter, the way they erased me while I stood alive in front of them. And I remember the silence that followed when I left. That silence was power. Now, when my child sleeps in my arms, I whisper truths they will one day understand. Strength isn't loud. Love isn't blind. And betrayal, when met with patience, becomes its own revenge. Final reflection. I was the vessel, yes, but vessels carry life. They carry storms. And when I shattered, I did not break. I sank their ship.